Hello again, and welcome back to Elvis Now and Then. In today's video, I take a visit to Leeds Kirkgate Market. For all our non-UK viewers, Leeds is a city in the northern English county of Yorkshire. Leeds Kirkgate Market features hundreds of indoor and outdoor stalls, and every second Saturday of each month, Kirkgate Market is the home of a Leeds record fair. So yesterday, Saturday the 8th of November 2025, I took some time out to explore and see if I could find something for the collection. Okay, let's go. Finally made it to Leeds. Once you've navigated the roadways around Leeds, it's never easy. And then the challenge of parking. Here we go, Leeds Kirkgate. Let's see what records we can find. The record fair is held in two separate halls. You have the smaller hall 1 and then a larger hall 2. Here we have hall 1. And then you have the larger hall 2, which is full of record dealers. Here at Leeds Kirkgate we have 2 rooms full of record stores. Already seen some Elvis, so let's go and have a look. A nice feature at the bottom of hall 2 is a street food area where you can taste different foods and grab a bite to eat. So spot a brunch before we go through masses of record boxes. So after a tasty burger, let's go and see what Elvis records we can find.
The 3 for a tenner also, and then 5 or 8 for 3 for a tenner.
recommended it. Emergency. Well, we've got anything on the sunrise. How on earth did that get? You any idea?
Well, a good day at the record fair. The day wasn't completely without drama. An hour into my time, the building was evacuated for 15 minutes. Sirens started going off.
Attention please, we have an emergency in the building. Please leave by the nearest available exit. Attention please, we have an emergency in the building. Please leave by the nearest available exit. Attention please. We have an emergency in the building. Please leave by the nearest available exit. Attention please.
And everyone had to leave the building. Luckily, there was no big disaster, and maybe just a fire alarm activated. So we were soon back in the building. So all that was left. Well, that was weird. Looks like we're okay to go back in. So we were soon back in the building. So all that was left to do was get home, have a look at what I picked up, and see what I thought about the record fair. So, what did I think about the record fair? In general, it was pretty good. There was a lot of sellers and a lot of record boxes to go through. It made it a lot easier when they were sectioned out into different genres, and especially with the boxes marked with the Elvis collections. There was a lot of new old stock being sold, which was quite good because it meant you could buy brand new albums for 10, 15, 20, 25 for a double, really, and save quite a lot of money on postage if you were buying them off eBay or Discogs or whatever if you miss them. A lot of artists like Bruce Springsteen, his Only the Strong Survive album, all sealed, £10. So there was a lot to find, and it would be very easy to spend a lot of money there. On the Elvis collections, I think at the top end there was a couple of dealers who had quite a bit of Japanese stuff. That was nice to see. Um, there was also a couple of dealers who had quite a few old bootlegs. Again, that was good. And then middle of the road, you could pick up quite a big collection, for round about £5 a piece of the original collection, and a lot of 70s reissues. But at £5, I mean, you're almost getting it for free because you'd pay £5 for the postage. So if you bought it for a few pound off eBay or whatever, for not being in mint condition or anything, um, you still got that £5 postage, which then, you know, makes it a high price. So all in all, I think it's great. It's held once a month. There's plenty of record dealers from all over the country who turn up to display. There's a lot of boxes unmarked where you've really got to root through to find stuff. I think with that in mind, I had half a day in Leeds on Saturday. I think I'd need a full day to really search. There was a lot of stuff that I didn't film that I searched through. Um, Again, and on the worst side with Elvis, it's always the same. There's a lot of stuff there that really you wouldn't bother buying, the condition of it. Um, and, and because it's Elvis, people are asking a price for it. I mean, there was a few albums in that 10, 20, 30, 40, £50. I probably wouldn't pay a pound or two for them. I think that's all they're worth, but that's what you get. Um, you get quality from like decent dealers, and you also get a few stands and buckets which are sort of car boot fodder, if you know what I mean. But all in all, I think it was a really positive experience. So finally, probably the part you've been waiting for. Um, I didn't want to spend too much, so set myself a small budget of £100. Promised to myself to only buy anything in nice condition, because it would have been so easy to spend a lot of money there yesterday. There were so many records, and not only with the Elvis collection, I collect a lot of music. So with a little deal making, I managed to pick up around about £118 worth with my £100. And I was quite pleased actually. All the sellers were really friendly. We had a good chat. If I was buying a few records, they're prepared to do a little deal. I made sure I wasn't insulting with the deal. So to save 10 to nearly 20% off what I purchased, I thought went really well. So let's get into the records. Now I've not opened these and looked at them since I got back, so we can do this together a little bit. And let's get the gloves on so I can handle these without smudging them up. Everyone likes the gloves. So first up was Elvis Photograph 6. I had this way back when it was first released, but in that first collection when I let go of the majority of my LPs, this was one that I wish I'd never let go, but I did. Anyway, so finally I've got it back today. Let's have a look at this one. I do have the rarer black vinyl version of it in my collection again, but I've been looking for a nice copy of the pink, and I've never really trusted the listings on eBay, and they've never looked that clean. So this looks quite a nice clean copy. And if we find anything amiss, I'm finding out at the same time as you. So let's have a look at the records. They're in the wrong section, so that's side 3. Side 4 looks pretty clean to me. Hardly any spindle wear, so that looks pretty mint. So that's a good start. There's nothing earth-shattering in these pickups, but it's completed some holes in the collection again. And we've got side 1, side 2. Again, the vinyl looks pretty mint, so for the £18 less the discount that I managed to get off it, no postage, I think that was a pretty good buy. Next up is another LP that I had when it came out. I actually won this on Diddy David BBC radio station. They had a competition and I won the competition, went to an event, got the album, got a load of goodies. So I was really pleased to get this back in. Let's have a look. We'll re-sleeve all this, and this is the Jailhouse Rock Love in Las Vegas. You know, and this is probably the first time Viva Las Vegas sort of made it to an album in the UK. I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong, but a nice 80s release, and it's actually quite hard to get a decent outer sleeve because, like I did on my original, after time, it actually broke here. So I think that's quite a good find and looks in very good condition. Let's have a look at the record. Ooh, I hate it when the plastic grips to them. Again, another good looking purchase. All looks pretty clean. And I look forward to playing all these this week. I think I might leave it out, that plastic cover. And then the third one that was a re-edition to my collection. It's the 70s. Again, nice and tidy cover, nice and glossy. Saved me £5 or so on postage. I mean, some of this stuff I wasn't in a rush to add in, but if I'm going to find it anywhere, I'm going to pick them up. And the record itself, again, it hardly looks like it's even been played. It probably has, but fairly carefully. You know, a little bit of sleeve dust, not a lot, but that's a pretty nice mint record. And again, with the deals that I did, you know, that probably cost me about £6, something like that. So again, pleased. Now we're on to the oddest find. I didn't know with this one. I didn't know whether I should pick it up or not, but I did. And there was a reason why I did, which I'll go into in a minute. The Elvis Presley Seance. And this is on Shadow Records from 1979 it is. Let's have a look at the record. Again, really good condition. Not a huge amount of money. I don't know what I'm going to get with this record. Probably a load of shit, but Shadow Records. Again, vinyl's pretty mint. Hardly looks played. I doubt if it's something you're going to play again and again. And the reason why, the deciding factor on this, why I picked it up, if you have a look at that image in the centre, was I was quite surprised to see an old friend of mine, Stuart Coleman, from BBC Radio. I would chat to him and have a beer and everything after different gigs that I went to. Really nice guy. And you probably know him. He produced Shakin' Stevens' #1 hit, This Old House, and many others. He was probably his best producer. I think he did production for the Jets. I think he produced the TV show, if you remember, in the 80s, Are You Lonesome Tonight? We had a mix of artists all covering Elvis's records and songs, and just a bit of a tribute, bit of a time when we had some strange versions of Are You Lonesome Tonight and things from Pet Shop Boys, but again, it's just all part of the history. Yeah, I think that's the oddest record I've bought in a long time. Probably since I picked up a copy of Elvis's Greatest SHIT, which again, isn't something that hits the table. And then finally, probably the nicest, probably my favourite pickup of them all, is a Japanese copy of Elvis in concert. I can't wait for the Gravel Road release this year. That's going to be nice to have, but this was one of my first early Elvis albums in the 70s. Obviously 77, 78. And a member of the family gifted me a copy. They knew I was a big Elvis fan, and very luckily they gave me a copy of this album. And it's been we know it's not Elvis 1970 at his best, but it's still part of the music that I love. And I do enjoy playing it. It has its own sound. It's in pretty good condition. Let's move that. Wasn't a huge amount of money. And then it comes with a booklet. I'll have to dig out my mate David's book, read up on the release version. Yeah, you have all the music lyrics in the booklet. Comes with the obi. Let's have a look at the records, see if they're okay. And side one, and you've got the modern Elvis logo, mainly used in the UK. I actually quite like. I think it was different. No spindle wear here. Looks like a really nice record. Let's look at disc 2. Get that out. Side 3. Again, that is pretty clean. Side 4. Again, no spindle marks on there. Really nice looking clean vinyl. Yeah, so another really good purchase. Really happy with that. That'll do me. So all in all, some good pickups. And then there was a few non-Elvis items I bought. A couple of DVDs. Otis Grand, Blues from the Heart. I'm a big blues fan. And then one of my other favourites, Buddy Guy Rocks. And this was I saw Buddy Guy in the UK live. And in the 90s, the blues original artists had a bit of a comeback. John Lee Hooker, B.B. King, Buddy Guy. They were all making some pretty good blues albums with a lot of guests. Everyone wanted to go and play with them, Eric Clapton and so again, nothing Elvis related, but brilliant guy, excuse the pun. Love his guitar playing, great solid voice. Look forward to that one. And then a couple of albums which were in the new old stock. And the first one is the Beatles live at the BBC. And this is a 3 LP set. I think I picked this up sealed £25, which I thought was a pretty good deal. I had it on CD, and well, I still have it on CD. But I've been collecting all the Beatles vinyl up as well now. I'm quite enjoying that. There are quite a few Elvis related tracks on this. There's 8 in fact. So Elvis wise, you've got I Got a Woman, Too Much Monkey Business, That's Alright, I'm Gonna Sit Right Down and Cry Over You, Long Tall Sally, Johnny Be Good, Memphis, Tennessee, and I Forgot to Remember to Forget. So quite a few tracks on here that are Elvis related, and you can't beat a bit of Beatles as a band. And then finally, I always look for something a bit different, and we've got the Dave Clark 5, or sometimes known as the DC5 as well. But Dave Clark and his band, pretty similar to that sort of Beatle time. So, you know, they started in 1958, but didn't have their first sort of big chart success until Glad All Over in 1964. And it's funny that Glad All Over removed the Beatles' I Want to Hold Your Hand from a top spot in '64. And another connection between these two is the Beatles do a cover of Glad All Over for the BBC sessions. So, 2 albums that sort of live together. Dave Clark 5 was the second British invasion group to appear on the Ed Sullivan Show. And on this album, there's a rock and roll medley. can see that. And again, there's 3 Elvis related tracks on here: Long Tall Sally, Whole Lot of Shaking, and Blue Suede Shoes. So connections all the way through, and I think you can learn a lot sometimes from listening to other music to see what artists were performing what before and after Elvis performed them, and also covering of Elvis tracks. So I always find that interesting. So what do you think? Did I do okay? Let us know in the comments. What do you think of this bizarre seance LP? Has anyone out there got it? Tell me what you think about it. I've not heard it yet. It was just one of those crazy purchases just to find out, really. So stay tuned, like and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Bye.